Boy, what a fight against Oliveira and Tony Ferguson. What you just saw in that fight the other night in the UFC was one fighter improving on his fight game, and you're starting to see a slow decline in Tony Ferguson's fight game. And the reason why I say that is to say this. The UFC is evolving. They're seeing that just, training and the high pace of the UFC. It takes much more than that to win a UFC title. And Tony Ferguson, for quite some time, I've been a fan. And his cardio and his ability to continue to put pressure on fighters is at a level that you don't see. But that alone is not going to win a UFC title. And Tony Ferguson has to understand he needs to get off that high horse that he's calling all the shots. He pushes his training, and hats off to him. Kudos to him. He's able to do that. But I think Tony Ferguson needs to evolve. He needs to go around to different striking coaches, go back to the drawing board. It's going to take much more than just wearing out your opponent now in the UFC to become a champion. He needs to understand that. He needs to stop this machismo that he can do it all, that he's a Superman. Tony Ferguson, please, look for other ways on how to win. Tony Ferguson, you're a great fighter, but you're not getting any younger. Speed is an essential part, but timing beats speed. You still have the skills and the ability to become a UFC champion, but I think you need to get off your high horse and stop this mentality that you can do it all, that you don't need no one's help, that you're going to do all your strength and conditioning training. Fine, you can do that. But learning why you throw a punch, why do you do this in a fight, is really, really important. Just don't go out there just throwing any kind of punches and hoping that they land. Wearing down your opponents. That's not going to cut it anymore. You have to learn why. Why do you throw these punches? Why do you react the way you react? You're taking too much damage in these fights now. Fighters are figuring you out, Tony Ferguson. Okay? And if they can keep up the stamina with you, they will slowly, methodically break you down. And that's what we just saw. There's a lot of fighters in the UFC that are starting to realize this, and they're starting to put in the hours and the training and the striking and the conditioning that it takes to be a UFC fighter. For instance, Touchy-feely, the last time I saw his fight, boy, did he look good. He looked good. And the last 7 years that he's been in the UFC, yes, he said to himself he's quite embarrassed that he has not become a UFC champion in that time. He's understanding that it takes a lot more to be a UFC champion. And if it was not that fight was set for a 3-round fight, I think that kid and those camo shorts would have been in a lot of trouble. Not to say that kid wasn't very talented, because that kid gave Touchy-feely more than I thought that he could handle. But Touchy-feely did step up to the plate. Boy, did he look impressive. And Charles Oliveira is another fighter that has been in the UFC for quite some time, that has started to realize that it takes a lot more. Now, that being said, Tony Ferguson, you need to get off your high horse. You need to get into some clubs with striking coaches. Evolve with the UFC is what I'm basically telling you. You need to evolve in your striking, your grappling, and your wrestling. Not to say that you can't do either of those things, because you can. But it's time to step it up. With that cardio that you have, If you can land damage on your opponent, not just taking damage, you will be a different beast, a different animal. Okay? And that's what we're seeing in Tony Ferguson. People have figured you out, Tony Ferguson. You need to change things. It's not the fact that you can't outlast your opponent anymore. It's the fact that why are you throwing these punches? Why are you throwing these kicks? And what are you setting up for your next move? Okay, you're going in there. You just got your arm hyperextended. You're coming off a bad knee injury that never really healed, that I can see in your last fight that's really hurting you. Okay, unless you get off that high horse that you can do it all, you're not going anywhere, Tony Ferguson. You're not getting any younger. And I think it's time for someone to sit you down and to tell you, listen, Tony Ferguson, if you want to be UFC champion, this is what you're going to have to do. Okay? I don't want to see you taking beatings. I don't want to see you going out there and getting pounded out. People have figured you out. There's no more else to say. Tony Ferguson, unless you get off that high horse, you will not succeed. You will go down in history that the man that was almost right there just didn't make it. And you're going to fall in that category. And it's up to you. It's up to you to take advice and to go and evolve with the UFC as the UFC is evolving. It used to be there was only a handful of people that got world-class training. Not anymore. Dana White is evening up the playing field with that UFC center that he has made. He's giving fighters like Francis Ngannou, people that do not have the ability to get world-class training, he's giving it to them to even out the playing field. And Tony Ferguson, I think you need to step up to the plate. If you do not step up to the plate, I said it first, you're not going to go anywhere. Everyone has figured you out. And if you don't evolve with the UFC, it's going to be a damn shame. Because I like you as a fighter, Kukui. You are the man. But it's time to evolve. As far as Conor and Dustin Poirier, I believe Dustin Poirier, Conor is going to allow Dustin Poirier to, walk the dance with him, so to speak. Not taking away anything from Dustin Poirier, but I think Conor McGregor, if he wants to finish him, he will finish him whenever he decides. And Dustin Poirier, this is a real dangerous fight for you, but it's a good money fight for you. I think that he will put up a better fight than he did last time, but it's going to be the same results. And if Khabib doesn't come back to the UFC, Conor's next fight will be for the interim title or the title itself. I believe that they can put another interim title with Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor right now to spice things up. If they throw that in the mix, that would also put pressure onto the champion to wanting to defend his title. But it's all up to Conor, and his legacy. He doesn't need the money, but it's also for legacy now. Where does he stand among the mixed martial artists in the world and the great ones like GSP, and Khabib now, and defending the titles? Conor McGregor did win 2 titles in 2 different weight classes, but he was not able to defend both titles in both weight classes like Amanda Nunes has just done. She is a double champ, and she solidified herself as the greatest female mixed martial artist that ever lived. That does it. That solidifies it. If Conor can come back and do that, he will stand amongst the greatest fighters that ever lived. As for an Irishman, okay, he really will put the final stamp on it. And I believe he has the skill, and he has everything behind him. It's just up to him. It's hard to train when you're sleeping on silk sheets. It's hard to get up and fight. Okay, he doesn't. Connor needs to just let this COVID thing and the fact that he's not getting $99 million to fight. He needs to set all that aside. It's not about the money anymore, Connor. It's about your legacy, and and I believe if he stays on the straight path, his kids will look back and see what their father has done and the man that we all know he can be, rather than hearing all those horror stories of great athletes in the past where that they were great champions and they were at the height of their career, either drugs and alcohol or self-destruction behavior brought them down, and it was just a shame to see it all unfold in front of our eyes. He has to understand that he is a role model to a lot of young Irish men that are coming up. They're looking up to him. And what kind of level and presidency does he set for an Irish man? Okay, he needs to understand that he is in that situation whether he wants it or not. Okay, and I would really like to see him back in the ring. As far as the up and coming fights, that was a ballsy move for the 125 champion to take a fight on 3 weeks' notice. He really, really, really took a chance, a big chance, and to pull off the draw like that, that says a lot about him. I saw him getting fatigued in the fight, but that little Mexican guy gave him everything he could, you know. And I think if he would have applied a little bit more pressure, it might have been a different outcome. But the champion remained strong, and I believe he inflicted enough damage to slow him down to secure his title. And it was an impressive fight and also an impressive win for that man. As far as fights coming up, there's a lot of great fights, but I would like to see Stevie Miocic defend the heavyweight title against Francis Ngannou now. I think Francis Ngannou has stepped up. He learned something from the first fight, and I really believe it's going to be a different outcome this fight around. I can't wait to see that one. For all you fight fans out there and UFC enthusiasts, I can't wait to see some of these fights that are coming up and the fights that they haven't announced yet. But Khabib has really thrown a monkey wrench into this title defense. The fact that he wants to resign, I respect that. But his mom, I hope, understands that they lost someone very important to them, Khabib's father, and but to take away your son's dreams and to take away what your son loves to do because your husband passed away, give your son a chance to live. This is what he loves to do. And there's a lot of people that look up to him, and he's a role model in his own right. I hope that she gives him his blessing to allow him to continue to do what he wants to do and loves to do, and Khabib comes back. If not, if he doesn't come back, that would be real sad because I wouldn't want to see Khabib leave the UFC for 2 or 3 years and then decide to come back and lose. Because he wasn't in fighting form, just, training and stuff. That would be the shoe being on the other foot. Conor would be active this time and Khabib would be coming off a 2-year layoff, just like Conor was. And I think that it's going to play out that way. But I'd rather let Khabib maintain the title and defend the title and stay active so that we get true fighters that are Khabib and Conor that are actively fighting in the UFC and to give the fans the ultimate fight. not to give the fan excuses of why Khabib retired and came back after 2 years to fight Conor for the title. There's going to be all kinds of speculations. If he loses, there's going to be, oh, he was off a 2 year layoff and he came back and he fought Conor for the title and Conor ends up beating him. It would be the same excuses and the same things that Fight Fan gave Conor, coming off the fact that he boxed Floyd Mayweather and had a 2 year layoff when he came to fight Khabib. He should have fought other people and got warmed up and then got into fighting form and then fought Khabib. That's Conor believing in Conor once again too much. So, like I said, Tony Ferguson, you need to hook up with some world-class striking coaches again and start all over. Start all over. You know, if you do not do that, you're not going to go nowhere. They're not going to go nowhere. We're going to see a couple more fights that you take some beatings, or they're going to be some close fights, and you're going to end up leaving pissed off, not knowing and understanding why, because you're being stubborn. That's what I have to say about that. But I really would like Tony Ferguson to hook up with some real good striking coaches and some world-class gyms and evolve. All right, fight fans. Until next time, you know what I mean? Stay safe in this epidemic, and happy holidays to everyone out there.